I can change it to English. Sometimes the computer needs a while to reset. Okay, so when the table over there became known all around the world, there was some who wanted to try it in a different way. And it was actually British Museum in London that contacted this center and the people involved with that table and asked, can we borrow your equipment to x-ray one of our mummies? So they did. And it was very exciting because looking at the pictures, looking at the inside of the mummy without having to touch it, they could realize that that man, that was 5,000 years old, had been murdered. He had been stabbed in the back. So of course this was very exciting, and different museums were starting to think, well, what can we look at in our collections? And one of the museums in Stockholm wanted to x-ray not only the mummy, but also the coffins of the mummy. So this is what we look at here. This is the coffins of a mummy called Nesvayu, and he was a priest, and he died over 2,000 years ago. And here you can see the details of the coffin. Let's see if I can come in a bit closer. And you can see it's very detailed. And this is computer tomography, so it's X-ray, but it's also laser and photographs, all combined, different techniques. And then we can also go layer by layer to the inner coffin, to the cartilage of the mummy. So you can see it's very beautiful. And down to the wrapping. And when they wrapped the body of a mummy, they used hundreds of meters of linen to cover the body. And do you know anything about mummification?
Yes.
What they did to the body? You do? Great. Yes, exactly. And then they threw the brain away. Because yeah, well, the brain, most of the organs in the body they saved, but the brain they just threw away because it didn't have any purpose to them. They thought the brain, you don't really need the brain, we can just throw it away. But many of the other organs they saved and kept in jars or placed back into the body. And it was only the rich people that could do this to their relatives. So Nesvayu here was lucky because he was a priest and his family had a bit of money. So his body was kept. And we can now actually go to the body. So this is the mummy. You think he looks scary?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah, a bit perhaps. But I think it's pretty amazing that we can stand here and look at the body of a man who's over 2,000 years old, and we don't even have to touch it, we don't have to risk and destroy it in any way. We can look at it with this technology, and it still feels very real.
Well, are they cuffs? Is that jewellery or
no,
prison?
I'm not sure if it is cuffs. It might just be part of the linen that's wrapped tightly. Okay. But they did have amulets on them.
Amulets.
Yes. So here we have some of them. These brighter parts. Some of them were in gold, some of them were in porcelain or other materials. And actually here on the chest, you might be able to see some of it. It's an amulet of a falcon. And this amulet, they were able to get very precise measurements of and make a 3D printed copy. So this brooch that I'm wearing is an exact copy of this amulet on the actual mummy's body. So that's also the interesting detail. You can see it there. It's actually an amulet. Yes. Probably by stone. Yes. Okay. We have a while until the movie starts. We have one more floor to look at, but it's a bit more of a look around by yourself kind of exhibition. And maybe that's fine by you, that we can take some time and you can all just explore the exhibitions, look at the different tables, and I will be here for a bit more, and you can just ask me questions if there's anything you're wondering about.
Okay, thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
That is so amazing.
So they don't even need to open it.
I went to Egypt last year, I did, in